what you said about the manifest can't see the unmanifest. So, I wonder if you could speak more about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see, sometimes we think that if we think hard enough, or if we do abstinence practices, there is that belief that I can use certain means to attain God, to come to God, to come to realization, to come to peace and truth. In a way, at some level, in everything we do, we're seeking happiness. We're seeking peace, we're seeking to come onto the real deal. At the most basic level, we pursue happiness and peace and freedom strictly in the world by pursuing career, position, fame, wealth, health. Power. So we are seeking the divine. We are seeking the conditionless, that is completely conditionless, which is really what happiness is, what freedom and peace is, what love is. But we are pursuing it through the conditional world, through conditional means. And in time, we realize that it doesn't really deliver the goods. And we come to a sort of maybe frustration or depression. And for some of us, at some point, sooner than later, there is a glimpse that turns our attention away from the world, body, mind, from the relative, to we don't know what, to that we don't know. So we start asking questions that the mind cannot answer. What is going on here? What is it that's real? What is truth? What is real happiness? What is real freedom? What is real love? What the mind cannot answer these questions, because the mind will tell you, "Oh, go get the next position, go get the next job, the next $1 million, the next house, the next vacation." Yeah, but you've done that already. So when you turn your attention to the other direction, the mind cannot help you anymore. You come to a not knowing place, because now your interest, your attention is at a different dimension. It's looking at a different dimension than the world, body, mind dimension. And so the known, the limited, the thoughts that tell you, "Oh yeah, you need to buy that tract of land and make money out of this, or get this woman, or get this home, or get," the mind that tells you that, you now perceive it as being useless. You know it as being useless, as not being the way or the path. In a more sort of scientific way, your question about what is perceived that cannot know what perceives it is really quite simple to demonstrate. If you take anything that you perceive, whether it is an object, obviously the object does not know you. You know the object. You know what has a form, but what has a form cannot know you. So the tree, for example, you know the tree, you know it's an oak tree, you know must be maybe 100 years old or 80 years old tree. But the tree does not know your age, does not know your form, does not know your shape. Or if you take a thought, any thought, like "I love my mother," that thought, you know that thought. It's known by you. But the thought cannot know you. And the thought cannot know the next thought. The next thought is, "Gee, I don't like to travel too much, it exhausts me." So that thought that "I love my mother" does not know the thought that "I don't like to travel." Thoughts are known, but they don't know. Same with sensation. When you perceive a certain sensation, a toothache or a feeling of hunger, you know that feeling, you know that sensation. But that sensation does not know you. So what is perceived, what is known, cannot know the knower. The perceived cannot know the perceiver. So the thought, there is a thought, for example, that says, "I am a man." That thought, you know that thought. But how can that thought know you? The thought cannot know you. You know the thought, but the thought cannot know you. So if we really believe that, if we really understand that, then the thought that arises that says, "I am a man," that is pertaining to say something, to express something about you. How could you buy it? How could you say yes to that? The thought cannot know you. So the thought cannot say anything about you. how could a thought know the thinker? But yet, you believe that you're a man. You believe the thought that says, I'm a man. Therefore, you are choosing to not only create this thought, but also believe this thought. It's your choice. This is why it's said that ignorance is a choice. It's a choice. We choose ignorance. Because a thought that arises to you cannot force you to believe it. I mean, we think a million thoughts a day. You know what I mean? How could a thought force you to believe it? Which thought? I'm at thought number 685,000.
Why do we keep choosing them?
We choose that. Oh, a good question. Well, first must be clear that we're choosing this thought. We're choosing the thought and we're choosing to believe the thought. Why are we choosing it? Well, why do you do anything? Why ask yourself this question? Ask yourself. Why do I choose anything? Ask yourself. Because ask yourself, why do I choose? Why do I choose anything?
I don't know. Habit.
Well, what do you mean you don't know? Who would know? Who would know? Habit.
You know,
Okay, but still, how come we choose to maintain the habit? I choose to go up and eat ice cream at 10 o'clock at night because I like it, and I say, yes, I know I'm gonna be careful to eat just a little bit of it, okay? But I'm choosing it, and I'm enjoying it.
Choosing all these damn thoughts that say the world out there is real and that I'm a real person.
You're not choosing that thought.
I am. Obviously,
I'm sorry,
I must be, but why? I mean,
Well,
I don't like it. I mean,
first,
it's not like eating ice cream at night might taste really wonderful.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't want to believe these stupid thoughts.
Well, if you really don't want to believe this thought, then that thought will cease to arise to you as something that you believe. You will cease. That will cease.
So something here really enjoys playing this dumb game of being a separate person.
Something still loves their story. And if you look at yourself, it requires like a rear mirror-like looking, no cheating. If you look at yourself like mirror-like, like objectively, completely objectively, one way of doing it is to have like a camera that's filming you, You will notice how often you go to the me story. Oh yeah, he did this. Oh, she did that. Oh, you will notice that it goes unnoticed. But you are doing that. You choose, there's some juice in it for you. Because a thought, it just appears and can't force you to anything. And yet, I look at the thought, I'm a man, I say, yeah, hey, I'm a man. Now I choose to say I'm a man. This character here that chooses to say I'm a man because I don't give a hoot. Deep down, I know I'm not a man, but I know that I don't want to be locked up. I don't want to be walking and somebody tells me, "Hey, how are you doing, man?" I say, "What do you mean, man? I'm not a man." And I go, "Oh, already they're wondering. Oh, geez, let me see what's going to be next. You see, before long I'll be locked up. I don't even hoot. I'm a man. Okay, I'm a man. So I'm choosing." That I'm a man and my name is Magdi and I live in this house and all this, I own this and I own that and I'm the father and so and so on. I'm choosing these. I'm choosing to say yes to these. But aware. There is an awareness and a wakefulness. But I'm not choosing to believe any of it. That can end. You have to become really clear that what you are is not any phenomenal event. You are not what is appearing. You're choosing to say yes. Yes, I am born, and you're choosing to say yes and to believe it. That's the key thing, is believing it. See, I have no problem telling you that I'm born what year and where, and my mother and so on. But I don't choose to believe it.
But there must be some kind of payoff to make us, believe it.
Well, I mean, we like to play.
We're in the illusion that there's some kind of payoff
What's the
to
payoff?
maintain this behavior.
Well, what's the payoff? Ask yourself.
I imagine, now this is something I've imagined, is that it could almost seem like death to let go of my identity. That it could almost seem like, and I think about that.
Well,
I'm a Scorpio.
yeah,
I think I'm a
yeah.
Scorpio. That's part of my identity too.
But what chooses to believe that? What chooses to believe that it seems and it? What there is still. I understand what you're saying, but still, there is a compliance. There is a compliance with that. You're complying with that. Accomplice. You're accomplice with that.
Yeah.
That with that idea that I might lose, I might disappear, I might dissolve, I might die, what's going to happen to me? Because that's a thought, and it's a feeling. Now, meaning a sensation. Something is choosing to say that yes, that may happen. What is it that is choosing to say, yeah, that may happen? It can only be you. It cannot be your mother or your neighbor. They have their own. They do play their own. But it's you. It can only be you that is choosing to believe that oh yeah, something might happen to me. It's important to be clear about that. It's a choice. Ignorance is a choice. Because what we share in satsang is truth. And truth is not personal. There cannot be a relative truth. My truth, your truth is. What sort of truth is that? It's like a truth kaleidoscope. It's like, oh yeah, you want a truth? Well, it's like a merchant. Down in the old days, they used to sell you the elixir. Oh, drink some of this, and you will live for the next 50 years. That's nonsense. There cannot be a personal truth. Truth is one truth, one reality. We all know. So we only speak, and we point to the false. Because truth doesn't need to be pointed at. We are truth. We meaning we are consciousness. We are this presence. We are this borderless presence. That's dreaming this dream. That's perceiving this perception. Like in your night dream when you're sleeping, you're dreaming you're flying on top of Mount Everest. You are choosing this dream. You're creating this dream out of yourself. The dream is made out of yourself. It's not somebody's injecting you with flying on top of Mount Everest syringe. No. You choose this dream. It's made out of you. But you are not made out of the dream. The bird that you are flying and soaring over Mount Everest is made out of you. But you are not made out of a bird. So the bird can dissolve. You remain. Now there might be a giraffe, a beautiful giraffe that's walking in the... But that can dissolve too. You remain. See? So There's one truth, meaning one dreamer of all dreams. This is just a metaphor, the night dream is a metaphor. That there is one consciousness that's dreaming a million zillion dreams. It chooses to, it amuses itself with that. It also dreams ignorance. I am, oh yeah, I'm a man, I'm mortal, oh my God, I'm gonna die, I have 20 more years to live. Whew, I better, my will, my retirement, my this and that, and Jesus, and my hip is hurting me, and I feel, and I'm go to sleep, I'm dreaming about it at night, I wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, oh my God, 3 o'clock, what am I gonna do, it's just something's bothering me, it's about, maybe.
My dream.
Sounds like my thoughts on the
You can end that. You can end that.
I have confidence you were
Absolutely.
right.
Yes.
I'm not doing it though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah. Yes.
I need to find someone to blame.
We do it. I mean, that's another thing. Find somebody to blame. So we're choosing that. We're choosing to be the me that is right and somebody else to blame. So we're still maintaining this choice of me and the other, me and the world, me and my grandmother, me. Oh, it's because of my grandmother, my mother. If only my mother hadn't, you know what I mean? We're choosing that. We're choosing the story that maintains this impression of me as a mortal, a phenomenal event. You see? Right? But as soon as we ask the question, what is it that is real right now? What is the reality? We come to, wait a minute. Obviously, there is something here that's real, whatever it is. I know I am. Whatever this I is. I mean, I know there is something that we refer to as I. We refer to I all day long. Hey, I went to the movies. I'm shopping. I'm baking a cake. I called my brother. This, so that we know, I'm inviting you to look right now, that there is one thing there is no doubt about, which is I am. Whatever this I is. I'm not saying I as a man, I as a 50-year-old this, I as a young woman. I'm not referring to any of that of the sort, because these are just thoughts that appear to you, impressions that appear to you. I'm talking about the I, whatever it is, that right now hears these words, perceives this perception, before the thought of gender comes in, or age comes in, or time or space comes in. That we know. Nobody can come and tell you, you're not. So what do you mean I'm not? Well, you're not. So okay, to each their own. If that's your trip, good for you. But I know I am, whatever that is. Now the next thing I know that I am aware. Meaning I know that I'm knowing. Yes, I know I'm aware. Now we're not talking about, let me think about it. I've read, I went to school, I took course Awareness 101, when I was in college, in freshman college, and I learned that I'm aware. So I know I'm aware, and I've got the certificate. I've got a bachelor's degree in awareness. I can tell you, I know, I can speak with certainty I'm aware, but do you have your certificate? Do you have your bachelor's in awareness? You don't. So, you don't know that you're aware, right? You need to take the 64 credits I took, and I paid dearly, and all, but I had fun. It was fun to be in college too. But so you don't need to actually go to the mind to know that you're aware. There is a directness, there is a direct knowingness from I to I, from me to me, from capital I to capital I. I know I am. Yes? So we're not talking theories, Darwinian theories, or any scientific theories. We're talking directly looking at our experience. So I know I am, I know I'm aware. And I know that whatever I'm perceiving changes. Right? Just an hour ago or 2 hours ago, I was at home. The walls at home, they're not bland like that. I've got, the scene is different. I know that whatever thoughts I perceive, they change. As soon as I come to one thought, boom, it's the next one. I'm doing it, it's gone, the next one. Yes? So I know that what I perceive and what I think and what I sense, my bodily sensations, change. All right? Up to now, I'm not saying anything, no voodoo talk, right? That we know. But we also know that, and that's inviting you to look with me, that knows this perception is the same that knew the perception of being in my house. It's the same I, capital I. In other words, this whatever it is that hears these words right now is the same that heard these words that I said 10 minutes ago. That has not aged. I'm not talking about the body. The body ages every second. Zillion molecules and atoms and digestive fluids and, electrical currents and, thought fires, all these, energy waves. I'm not talking about the body. I'm talking about I, the awareness, is the same. It doesn't age. I'm just inviting you to sort of look at that. This is a contemplation of consciousness, a contemplation of awareness, contemplation of truth. So say, oh, okay, fine. I'm aware that the tree ages and the body ages and whatever home ages, but the I does not age. I that is aware does not age. It's a key thing, because in ignorance we believe that I ages. I am aging. I'm inviting you to look from a different perspective, not from your belief systems, not from what you know, but from your direct experience right now. Whatever it is that is hearing this right now is the same, whatever it is that's hearing this right now. And whatever heard this a few seconds ago is the same, whatever it is that's hearing this right now. Does not age. Does not grow in size, diminish, grow, does not wilt. So, I am aware. This awareness that I am does not age. And the awareness that I am is the same awareness that is in this room right now, that is perceiving this room right now. And the awareness that was perceiving 495, the same. Imagine yourself, try to remember when you were driving, whatever road you were driving on, that perception that was arising to you, it's the same awareness. So this awareness is independent of time, it does not age. Is independent of space. It's independent of time and independent of space. Yes? But the next thing to contemplate is that this awareness whatever is perceived, whether it's a thought, a sensation, a perception, is at zero distance from the awareness that perceives it. Meaning, another way of putting it is, you're perceiving your perception. You're perceiving your perception. Where is your perception? There is a reality that perceives. The reality that perceives is the same reality of what is perceived. What is perceived is made of the same reality than what perceives. Like in your dream.
I'm sorry, does reality have to perceive? Is that the nature of reality?
And understand the question. So, reality, the way we experience it up to now, is we only know it as perceiving. In other words, we know that there is a reality because we know that there are perceptions, we know that there are feelings and sensations, we know there are thoughts. And so your question is, can reality be known, let's say, without perceiving? Does it have to perceive? And the answer is no. But that's just a verbal answer that means nothing to you, because it's just, you ask a question, the man answers, big deal. But I want to say some more about this. So, when you ask yourself, am I aware? Where do you go to answer this question?
Well, I could go to my thoughts, or I could go to just thoughtless, but not really perceiving it by a thought.
Okay, so let me ask you, and are you aware?
Yes.
Yes. Did you go to your thoughts?
Yes.
In your experience, you went to your thoughts?
I always do. Unfortunately.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to challenge that. And I'm just going to challenge that. It's out of the blue, I'm going to challenge that. When you ask yourself, am I aware? And actually you answered it so quickly that there's a big hint right there. There's a big hint. When you ask yourself, am I aware? Before even you start thinking and doubting it, the answer is yes. Yes, I'm aware. And then you say, well, wait a minute, am I really aware? I'm not sure. Whatever, after, who knows? But at the moment, am I aware? Yes. Did you hear this? The answer is yes, I heard it. Is it you that heard this? Yes, it's me. All this,
So there is no thought.
there is no thought there.
There is no thought.
That's why I'm saying I'm challenging, because I'm respecting what you're saying, okay, but I'm just presenting you with just a different point of, I'm presenting you with a different proposition. Not saying, well, just inviting you to sort of contemplate that. There are for just to go back to your initial question, to your question earlier before I get off on a tangent, is that at the moment of asking yourself, am I aware? Now again, I'm just going to go with my assumption. You don't go to any thought. There is a direct consciousness knows it's conscious. Awareness knows it's aware. It doesn't go to the mind. It doesn't go to the trees. It doesn't go to a thought. It doesn't go to a bodily sensation. It goes directly to itself and goes, yes, I'm aware. It's like there is a direct connection between awareness and awareness. It knows it's aware. There is only one self-knowingness, which is the knowingness of awareness. Awareness knows itself. By itself, directly, without an indirect channel. While to know that you're perceiving a tree, you have to sort of go to thought, because you already have to label a tree, and you are now perceiving, actually when you're looking at the tree, you're not just perceiving a tree, but you're picking out a tree out of, and I invite you to look, you're perceiving a whole perception, and you say, I'm perceiving a tree, then there is some subtle mentation that picks a tree out of the entire scene. Because actually, when I'm looking now, I'm seeing Lina and Jack and you and you and you, and I'm seeing the curtain, and I'm seeing trees, and I'm seeing all sorts of things. But I'm just saying, yeah, I see a tree, so there is a certain element of thought. And it's not an issue. I'm not saying it's a problem. It's just that I'm just pointing to, because to answer your question about am I seeing a tree, of course I have to say yes, I'm seeing a tree. And if we're in a conversation that is more non-dual, I would tell you, well, I'm not sure that I'm perceiving a tree, as I'm perceiving my perception. I'm perceiving my perception. So there is. And where is my perception? My perception is made out of myself. It's like a dream. In the dream, I might be perceiving a purple butterfly, but where is that purple butterfly? It's made out of myself. It's a metaphor. But going back to your question, yes, consciousness can know itself outside of forms. It doesn't need to just perceive form. It can know itself directly. And in that knowingness there are no forms. In that knowingness. I'm going to take it a step further. Even when consciousness is knowing form, it is knowing itself as forms. So because I'm talking about I am consciousness. I'm not talking about this lamp being conscious. Whenever we speak of consciousness or awareness, I'm talking about I. There is only one I. The I of awareness, of consciousness. So, in looking at the world, in perceiving the world body-mind, I'm perceiving myself. Consciousness is perceiving itself as world, body, mind, and perceiving itself directly as itself. So consciousness knows itself in the absence of world, body, mind, and it knows itself in the presence of world, body, mind. And when you get to that clarity in being established as that, you're sortie de l'auberge. You're sortie de l'auberge. You're let's say done with the dream of ignorance and established as the self. There is such a thing as being established as the self. It's not a hoax or or some kind of charade.